morning. How the devil are you all doing this fine day? Hope you're all well. It's plant works time, people. Tomorrow. Well, today, depending how you. We'll come back to it. It's very good to be back, even if it is only for a day, and I'm hoping it's going to be for more than a day. Last week's flying visit to Italy, it was terrific. I'm not going to give the game away too much because we've got something big coming up, but if you can see very, very distinctly there's a new part to the backdrop, which is a clue in itself. Tell you more about that at some point. I'll be sharing the details of exactly why we were in Italy just as soon as plant work is over. There is a very real possibility that I'll be heading back to Italy later this summer. I need to finalise some details, but based on the trip that we've just had, I'm sincerely hoping we can pull that off. But that is for later in the year. But as soon as this show is over, I'll be heading for the East of England Showground to attend a little thing quite eagerly awaited called Plant Works. Now, my intention is to broadcast live from the show itself, but my fate rests in the lap of the tech gods. So if I have sufficiently fast broadband, you'll be seeing me here throughout the show. If not, then I guess I'll just have to save up all that sexy footage and bring it to you when I get back. I will do my best to keep you all posted anyway. And good morning to Jim Turner, who's just turned up as well. I will press the button in just a second. But without further ado, let me roll the... let me do... What am I going to do? I'm going to roll the intro, which is what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to post the question of the day, which I think I've done. And then I'm going to get this show on the road. It is Monday, the 12th of June, or to put it another way, it is Plant Works Eve. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, Wirtgen shows off a trenching operation like no other. Case focuses attention on its wheeled excavators, and Bell works in partnership with its global customer base to keep the wheels turning. Plus, XCMG will have you hanging by a rope. It'll make more sense when we get there. We'll get to all that in just a second. But first, let us peer back through the mists of time to see what was happening on this day in history. On this day in 1381, English peasants revolted against the introduction of the poll tax. Still think we should have done the same when they tried the same thing again several hundred years later. In 1923, escape artist Harry Houdini freed himself from a straitjacket while suspended upside down 40 feet above the ground in New York. In 1931, Al Capone was indicted on 5,000 counts of prohibition and perjury. 5,000 counts. Makes Donald Trump's 37 look lazy, really, doesn't it? In 1942, a young girl was given let me try that again. In 1942, on this day, a young girl was given a diary for her birthday. That young girl was Anne Frank. In 1954, Bill Haley and his Comets released Rock Around the Clock. In 1964, Nelson Mandela was sentenced to life in prison. He would spend the next 27 years behind bars. In the year 2000, on this day, the first X-Men movie premiered in New York. And on this day, in 2018, Donald Trump met with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, quite possibly to discuss which of them had the worst haircut. Now, before we get on to the real meat of the show, let me remind you of the question of the day, and let me do so like this. Yep, that's right. Easy. Would you prefer to be hot or cold? I'd normally say hot, but having sweated in my sleep these past 2 nights, I'm starting to have a bit of a change of heart. If you're in the cab of a machine, do you have the aircon cranked up to the Arctic setting, Or is the interior of your machine like a sauna? Let me know in the chat. We'll come back to that at the end of the show. Think about all the effort that goes into a trenching operation. You drop the boom, dipper and bucket. You fill and raise the bucket. You then slew 90 degrees, deposit the spore beside you, and then you repeat. And then you repeat and repeat and repeat. Hard work, right? Particularly if you have miles of pipes or cables to lay. Surely there has to be a better way. Well, as it turns out, maybe there is. Yeah, I'm sure that solution comes with a pretty hefty price tag, but how many excavator operators could achieve that trench profile in a single pass? My guess is probably not that many. Moving on. It seems that rarely a week goes by these days when Case Construction Equipment doesn't show off a new addition to its product line. Well, this week is no exception, and this time Case are all about the ducks.
Hello everyone, I am Massimiliano Ventura, Product Manager for crawler and wheel excavators in Europe. I am pleased to welcome you to the walk around of our very latest addition to the Case product offering, the brand new E-Series wheel excavators. The option for fitting wider axles on the WX160E and WX175E SR is another way to improve safety and stability, especially for when the excavator works over the side in the most unstable conditions, while the optional plastic fenders, which are steerable on the front axle, provide a way to protect the machine from mud and dirt. The undercarriage enhances the overall flexibility of the wheel excavator, offering a most wide array of blade and stabilizer combinations to satisfy every application need. Not forgetting that on all models below 20 tons, the front and rear lower attachments can be easily mounted, dismounted and swapped, thanks to a bolt-on installation. Let's focus on the dozer blade, which belongs to the parallel type, thus granting range and force advantages over the radial design. In addition, the trailer hitch preparation can be fitted on models with standard axles to be applied on the rear blade, making the machine ready to tow a trailer and enabling the excavator to act as a real tool carrier.
Yeah, looking forward to the Case open days later this year. I think they're 13th and 14th of September, maybe 14th and 15th, can't remember. I will keep you posted just as soon as they confirm a location on those. Looking forward to seeing those wheeled excavators up close and in person. Between now and then, a bit of this. Next up, we're looking at how ADT maker Bell works in partnership with its customers around the world to keep their wheels turning. Let's take a look.
At Bell, we make heavy equipment, but our business is about building lasting relationships with the owners of our machines and helping them to succeed. It's about understanding what our customers need and providing a range of aftermarket products and services that support them throughout their Bell ownership experience. Getting the most out of a Bell machine starts with expert training. Fully accredited worldwide, Bell Training provides operator and technical training specific to your equipment and working conditions either at your own premises or at one of our world-class training facilities. Fitting inferior parts reduces the performance of your equipment, increases the risk of breakdowns, and impacts on your operating costs. Bell parts are specifically tested, selected, and manufactured to ensure superior quality, maximum performance, and value for money. With over 200,000 listed parts, 98% availability, and warehouses in South Africa, Germany, and the United States of America, we pride ourselves in stocking the correct parts for you. And when your Bell machine is nearing the end of its first life, Bell Riemann components and used parts allow you to extend the life of your equipment even further and save costs at the same time. Quality guaranteed Bell Riemann components are rebuilt to the manufacturer's required specifications and carry a 12 months unlimited hours warranty. Customers acknowledge that all heavy equipment will have downtime at some point. It's the nature of the harsh working environment they operate in. What counts is the speed and quality of the service response. At Bell, you can rely on our expertly trained technical analysts for professional assistance and professional advice wherever you are in the world. Our global technical support team also ensures customers are continuously kept up to date with the latest equipment upgrades as well as service, parts, and operators' manuals. Key to helping you maximize your productivity, improve safety, and increase efficient operating levels is our selection of extended warranties, maintenance contracts, and flexible service plans. Bell Care Packages fix your maintenance costs for up to 5 years and offers the best discounts on labor, parts, and travel. Packages are all designed to give you peace of mind that your machine investment will be looked after. Keeping your machine strong and reliable by servicing it regularly at our recommended service intervals is easy with our service kits. Designed with your convenience in mind, our service kits ensure you get the right parts every time, saving you time and money. Lube Check is our oil condition monitoring service, an essential element of any preventative maintenance program. Partnering with an independent oil analysis specialist, we look to minimize unscheduled breakdowns, saving you time, money, and inconvenience. To ensure efficient performance and optimal protection of machine components, lower wear rates, and reduced exhaust emissions, we have Bell Lubricants, our range of specially engineered oils and greases to keep your machine operating at peak performance. Rounding out our aftermarket offering is Bell Fleetmatic, the ultimate in fleet management that allows you to keep track of your fleet 24/7 to manage and protect your assets. Fleetmatic gathers machine health data, identifies possible future failures, and keeps track of service intervals. It helps you find ways to work smarter and improve profit margins by providing detailed production data and real-time tracking, providing customers with strong, reliable support every step of the way.
That's a cracking film from the fine folks at Bell. I'm in agreement with Dan Cullen. I have to say, Bell really do make a damn fine ADT. Looking forward to catching up with them very soon.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
We can come back to this one at the end. If anybody's seen the rant is too strong a word, but the piece that Rowan Atkinson wrote recently about he believes he was duped into buying an electric car because he thought it was doing good for the environment. Point there from Jim Turner. That's the way to look after the environment. Buy a machine once and keep sending it in for a full rebuild at regular intervals. It's a very interesting point. And funnily enough, one of the things that we discussed while I was in Italy, the machine I went to see, it was a specific machine, which will become clear, but a specific machine. And there does seem to be a tendency, certainly within demolition fields, where you buy a super high reach machine, basically with a job or maybe one or two jobs in mind, and then you keep your fingers crossed that it's going to be okay to, you're going to get the utilization out of it going forward. The company I was speaking to in Italy basically said, this machine will last us for the next 20 years or so. A long-term investment, and it will be rebuilt, and it'll be rebuilt, and it'll be refurbed, and it'll be rebuilt along the line, along the same time. So, going back to what Jim Turner says, better for the environment, probably cheaper in the long run. Full rebuild at regular intervals. There you are. I do need to play something else because I'm about to cough. So, I'll say we go with one of these.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
And so we come to our final film for today, and quite possibly, technology allowing, could be our last film for a few days, actually. Rope shovels are among the largest items of construction and mining equipment. Have you ever wondered how one is actually built? Well, sit back. Let XCMG show you. So now you know. We're hoping to catch up with the folks at XCMG at Plantworks over the next couple of days. And as Dan Cullen says, that's some work building that piece of kit. Certainly is. Take a few people and a good few cranes as well. It's gripe time, and I've not gone for the obvious, the weather, although I was tempted. I want to go for something completely different. We are fast approaching the holiday season, and I'm sure that some of you will be heading off overseas for a week or two in the sunshine. Good for you. You've more than earned it. But before you go, let me tell you a little tale about air travel in general and about returning to the UK in particular. So on Saturday afternoon, I flew back from Italy. I was told to be at the airport at least 2 hours before takeoff time. Even though I know precisely how this works, I duly obliged. I then found myself airside in the departure lounge with about an hour and 50 minutes to kill. I was then told that my flight would be delayed by half an hour, so I now had 2 hours to kill. Anyway, the time passed quickly enough, and I was then called to the gate. My passport and boarding pass were checked for the umpteenth time, and we were sent onto the tarmac to watch an entire aircraft of people disembark. We also stood on the tarmac while a crew of cleaners then climbed aboard to make the newly arrived plane spick and span, and then we were allowed on board. Now, at this point, we've all been kept waiting for about 3 hours beyond our recommended check-in time. The pilot then had the temerity to tell us that we needed to board quickly if we were to depart. It gets better. Anyway, the flight itself passed without a hitch, and then we arrived, not by choice, but we arrived at Stansted Airport. Almost all of the automatic passport check machines were down, so the queue for those that remained snaked back and forth around the entire border control area. The flight from Italy to London was around 800 miles, and it was completed in 100 minutes. The passport control area at Stansted Airport is less than 100 yards. That journey took 65 minutes. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. A flight of 1 hour and 40 minutes actually required more than 5.5 hours to complete. So if you're going away by plane this year, happy holidays. Anyway, that's my gripe of today. Might be my gripe for the week. We shall see. But I'd love to hear yours. What is it that grinds your gears, gets your goat, and generally butters your anger parsnips? Daily gripe therapy session will return very soon. That pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. I'm hoping it's not going to wrap us up for the week, because I would like to be able to broadcast from Plantworks, but it's beyond our control, so I'm just going to go with my fingers crossed. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around for that, then please stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues, and I hope to see you at Plantworks. If you do have the time and the inclination, I'll see you on the other side of this for the crack. But first, here is a word from our key main sponsor. Now, let me get some music rolling. I think we'll go with that one. Yeah, that sounds about right for a Monday morning. How are we all? Are you warm enough? Thought perhaps you would be. We'll come back to the hot and cold debate in just a second. But first, let's go back to the very beginning of the chat. Dan Cullen, who I know has already got his bags packed, is in the house. Morning, Dan. You were first off the mark this morning. See you tomorrow, Wednesday, maybe? We shall see. Use WhatsApp. Use the WhatsApp group chat. Let me know when you arrive. Let me know where you are, and we will find a way to meet up. I do have an office, apparently. I only learned this last week, and I learned it at the same time as you did. I do have an office, but my plan is to be in it for as little as possible, because my job is largely outside. But yeah, use WhatsApp. That's the long and short of it. Dan Cullen says, "Woohoo!" I'm sure he didn't do it quite that way. Woohoo, it's here, Plantworks, yeah, absolutely. And there is our friend Gary Muirhead. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, gang. Happy Plantworks week, everyone. Happy Plantworks week indeed. Mark Whiting's here as well. Morning, Mark. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Peter McKenna's here as well. And our friend Irvin, who is now a regular over on LinkedIn. Good morning to you, gentlemen. Thank you very much indeed for being here. And Craig Williams, who I'm going to take a wild stab and say he is probably going to be at Plantworks. Craig, come look me up. About time we actually met face to face, so please do that if you can. Dan Cullen says, how the hell are you all? Yeah, how the hell are you all? I'm only fleeting visit. Got to see a registrar, says our friend Sick Note, Mr. McKenna. Jim Turner's in the house as well. Morning, Jim. You should get 5G at the show. I do when I'm there. Yeah, the issue, Peter, is not the fact that I need 5G. 5G is handy, and it does have a degree of power. The problem I have is somewhat unique. Whenever anybody talks about internet speeds, we're all concerned about internet download speed. So here in my house, I have super fast Virgin Media, and I get about 380 megabytes per second down. So I can download an hour and a half movie in a matter of seconds. Really is as fast as that. My issue, though, is the upload speed. And generally, I tend to find, particularly when I'm traveling, that the upload speed is about 1/10 of the download speed. So if I've got 300 down, I've got 30 up. More than enough to do this. The problem is this requires somewhere between 5 and 10 up speed. So unless I arrive and find myself with somewhere between 50 and 100 meg down, Houston, we have a problem. I'll keep you posted. My question of the day: do you prefer to be hot or cold? Now, generally, I would have said I'm a warm man. I don't like the sun because I'm pasty, but I do like to be warm and toasty and snug as a bug in the proverbial rug. For the last couple of nights, it's been difficult to sleep. And the problem is, the answer to being able to sleep, I've got a window right by my bed. Open the window, which means you're nice and cool, but you also have to listen to people leaving for work in the morning at some ungodly hour, or coming home late from a night out. You can't win. Wish it was like it was in Italy, where it was just as toasty as it is here, but with oodles of aircon to throw around the place. Right. Get the show on the road while I'm on the tracks. Good to hear. Looking forward to seeing you, Dan. There's Peter McKenna again. Yes, Mark already said morning on LinkedIn. Jim Turner says, definitely cold. I wonder how much this is going to be influenced by where you actually are. I would imagine if you're an Eskimo, you would probably prefer to be warm. If you're in Equatorial Guinea, maybe the occasional bit of wind and rain might be welcome. I don't know. Question of the day: cool to cold. I hate anything above 20 degrees, says Peter McKenna. Very specific, but I can understand that. Not staying long. I've got to scoot shortly. I've got an appointment. I think we knew that. That's with the registrar. Question of the day: Dan Cullen says cold. And then Peter, after his appointment, is back home, packed for his journey down to Peterborough. Mine is a journey up to Peterborough, but we'll meet in the middle. You get the idea. Gripe of the day from Jim Turner: it's too bloody hot. I was tempted, but it just seemed a bit obvious. And Brits talking about the weather, let's face it, we're all pretty bored with that, aren't we? And have you noticed, it's so cold, the cold, and it's too wet, the rain, too much snow, it's awful. And the sun comes out and we even complain about that. Kerry Jones is in the house. Morning, Kerry. Are you coming to Plantworks, Kerry? Hope that you are. If so, I look forward to seeing you there. Here, Jim, and it's going to get hotter before it gets colder. That's my fear. I did put a note in the chat for not just for those that go into Plantworks, although that is a very specific one. If you are going to Plantworks, put a hat on your head, take plenty to drink, get yourself some sunscreen, look after yourselves. It's not as somebody that's had sunstroke twice in their life, both times here in the UK, oddly enough, because I guess you are working with your guard down here in the UK. When I tend to travel overseas, you tend to cover up and you're a bit more careful. Here in the UK, both times actually. The first time I was playing cricket back in the day, and the second time was a day's fishing, where I was stood in a river. Wouldn't recommend that without protection. Kerry Jones prefers it hot. Probably enjoying life at the moment then. And Gary Muirhead, when I can get his comments play. Question of the day: he is a hot man in every sense of the word, I'm sure. Expressly coming from a country that can be cold most of the time. Ah, yes. Bonnie, Scotland, home of freezing weather and midges, but also home to haggis, which makes it all okay. Dan Cullen says, yes, Jim, it's roasting. Yes, it most certainly is. There is my daily weather advice. It's not daily, and it's not really great advice. But listen, I have a solar panel on my head. I have no intention of burning that. And water, I'll tell you now, bear in mind my son Fred is half my age. He basically went down with heat exhaustion at the last hillhead. Was it the last hillhead or was it the one before? I think it was the one before. Literally worked through from I think about 8:30 in the morning till 4 without taking on board any fluid whatsoever. Got him back to the Airbnb afterwards, and he just flopped onto the bed. So yeah, be careful out there, people. it's a bit toasty. Glenn Johnston is in the house. Morning, Glenn. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Are you attending Plant Works? Let us know. I thought this was a really interesting one. That's the way to look after the environment. Buy a machine once, keep sending it in for a full rebuild at regular intervals. And I know Ken Hatcher does actually say, and good morning to Ken rather, Ken does actually say that Caterpillar have been doing reman for years. Quite a few manufacturers have been doing reman for years. I wonder how much that filters down to everyday type machines. Are people rebuilding many excavators? My guess is probably not that many. But where is the cut-off point? Quite a common practice in mining and quarrying equipment. Where is the cut-off? Is there a particular operating weight where a rebuilding machine makes economic and environmental sense? I don't know what that cut-off might be. But it really did flag up that conversation that Rowan Atkinson was having about trying to safeguard the environment. He had bought an electric car. As it transpires, an electric car is not that big a benefit to the environment, whereby buying an older car and taking good care of it and keeping it well maintained might have actually been a far better option from an environmental standpoint. Bearing in mind Rowan Atkinson is something of a car collector anyway, chances are he probably would have preferred the older car. There is Ken Hatcher, who is currently blazing in the hot sun of Welsh Wales. Yes, we like to surprise you, Ken. No, there was always going to be a show today, and there's going to be a show on Friday. What happens between the lap of the gods? Don't know. We did manage to broadcast during Future Works. But it was, if anybody remembers that, we were coming in and out. I think we were doing sort of 3, 4, and 5 shows per day during Future Works. But it was sketchy. And on literally the final day, or it was only one day anyway. But the final show of that day, the internet cut out completely. Right at the very end of the show. I mean, I was wrapping up, so we'd already done what we needed to do. But I was doing my thank you for watching, and nothing. He just completely went. And Future Works, by comparison to Plant Works, is quite a small show, so I would imagine that the broadband servers at Plant Works will be under some strain this week. I'm hoping we've got enough piped into my office, and if I have, then I'll be coming to you live from there. If not, it will be Friday again. And there is Ken again saying Cat's been doing reman for years. Yes, they have, as have a number of others. Lee Hair and Komatsu among them. Volvo as well, I think. I'm going mad. I can't wait to meet all your filthy animals in Peterborough. Thank you. Now that's Sam White building that piece of kit. That was the XCMG. My gripe is it's too bloody hot. I hate the heat. I like it around -5 to 16. -5? -5 is the point where I go back to bed. I thought you was up at the show all week, Mark. I am leaving here, get this show wrapped up, get all of the camera gear off charge, because it's been on charge since we got back from Italy. Get all the camera gear loaded into the car, and my bag's already packed. So yeah, throw it all in the back of the car, and then we'll be off. So it will be Tuesday, Wednesday, well, part of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'll be back here on Friday. Hopefully be able to do something in between times, but watch this space. There's Craig Williams. Sorry, can't make it this year to Plant Works. Kerry, in that case, I will do my very best to deliver Plant Works to your eye holes and your ear balls. Keep the water intake up, Fred. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things. You do it once, you don't do it again. So I have to say, it was nice and warm. It wasn't overly hot. Probably about 22, 23 degrees while we were in Italy. But man alive, it was thirsty work. We were on a site with some of the best dust suppression I've ever seen in my life, and I'll show you that when we do finally release the film. But despite that, plenty of dust in the air. It was warm enough. It was not sweaty heat like we've got here. It was dry heat. But I literally could not get enough fluid on board. Bottles of water while I was walking around the site. We went for lunch, bottles of water, Diet Coke. Went back to the site, bottles of water, Diet Coke, and still as thirsty as anything. And I was lugging water down all night. So yeah, Take care, people. It's unbelievably hot. Craig Williams, apologies. I have to start my plant works journey. Craig, give us a bell when you get there. I look forward to seeing you. Rowan Atkinson is a Land Rover owner, so he's probably seen firsthand how renovating a vehicle is the greenest option. Yes, absolutely. My gripe's Monday. My gripe is Monday. Crap the diggers down, so we're doing nothing. Bored to death. Which is why you're tuned into this show, Stephen. Let me take away the strain of being bored and let me fill your ears and your eyes with something interesting. Unfortunately, I think you probably missed the main part of the show, but you get the idea. Exactly, I'd be in my... Yeah, not sure. Dan Cullen's got his camera ready. Craig Williams, sorry to miss the remaining part of the show, but I must start my plant works journey. Look forward to seeing you. Yes, I drank about a litre of water. Yeah, I've already had best part of a litre, and there's another one going to go down before I leave. So there'll be a few pee breaks on the way out. Sorry to miss the remaining part of the show, but I must begin my plant works journey. I think you won't be alone on that. Johnny Cash said, I hear the train are coming. Yes, coming round the bend. Morning, Stephen Guthrie, says Dan Cullen. Right, people, that pretty much wraps things up, I think. We just had another comment pop in. Looking forward to meeting you, all you guys. For those of you that aren't member of the WhatsApp group, what to do? Drop me a line on social media. I'm everywhere. LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all of those things. Just search either for me or for Demolition News. Drop me a line. I'll add you to the WhatsApp group, and then hopefully we can all get together. I'd like to think that we could actually have a full-scale meeting of minds with all of the people that are regulars on the show actually meeting in one place. But even if that can't be done, please let me know where you are and when you are, and I'll happily meet with you one-on-one. I'll squeeze you in between video shoot duties and broadcasting duties if I have such things. Let me know where you are. As I said to Ken earlier, the plan is wrap up today's show, head to Plantworks, hopefully broadcast tomorrow. Don't suppose it will be at 10 o'clock. It might, but it probably won't, because we do actually have some shoots to do tomorrow morning. So my plan is basically to spend probably Tuesday gathering stuff, and then if we are in a broadcast zone, we will broadcast the show properly on Wednesday and then again on Thursday as well, and then I'll be back in this seat on Friday. Safe journey, Mark. See you soon. Have a great day, everyone. Travelling, safe journeys. Absolutely. A meet at the end of the day will be great. Over a brew. Over a brew is my preferred option. So yes, let me know where you all are, people. And I look forward to seeing you there and then. Till then, everybody, have a fantastic day. Stay out of the sun if you can. But if you are in the sun, hat, drink suntan lotion and stuff. Don't forget before you leave, tell your loved ones you love them. I'm going to. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for the reminder. Right, people, get out of here. Go and get your Plantworks skates on. I'll see you in Peterborough in a few hours. Till then, all the very best. And there's Jim Turner saying, safe travels, everyone. Yes, from Jim's lips to your ears, safe travels, everyone. I'll see you in Peterborough very, very soon. Till then, everybody, have a fantastic day. All the best.